solve something you never heard in every room. And I succeeded. It's been 50 years after her death. Before she was recognized by the American Association of Artists. They didn't want me. It's amazing. And this is one project. With a capital P project. We're going to stop here just for a second. This is the third of the guest cottages, 5,400 square feet on 3 levels. Hearst loves 1st to 4th century pieces. You see on either side of the door, these are Herms or Hermes, 1st to 4th century Greek. You see them on the pedestal, the Alpha and Omega. He loves those 1st century pieces. Then we have one of his 9 sarcophagus here on the other side, 2,000 years old. They said most museums didn't have any, let alone a part of 9. And above that, from a famous sculptor named Antonio Canova, his 3 Graces. And Hearst is going to brag to you in a minute, he's got an original Canova in his living room. Now, I haven't talked about our architect for a second. If you look at the tiles underneath the roof lines, designed by Julie Morgan. The tiles in your feet, and the risers going up the stairs, designed by Julie Morgan. Hearst has 95 railroad cars. Keep coming with me. 95 railroad cars full of antiquities. They're all inventoried by Julie Morgan. So she becomes the interior designer. She works with the landscape architects. The gardens designed by Julie Morgan. The craftsman hired by Julie Morgan, and she's the paymaster. She does payroll. How important is Julie Morgan to Hearst? Pretty important. Now this is why Hearst wants to build here. Some of you got stuck already, but Hearst wants to see this view every day. And I know you're all feeling sorry for me. I got to see this 4 or 5 times a week. Isn't that awful? Now if you're Howard Hughes, you could land in Mr. Hearst airstrip. He's got 3 planes himself. The Vanderbilts would moor their yacht in the harbor. Most of us would have gone to Glendale, Los Angeles. Hearst has a 90-foot rail car he attaches to the Southern Pacific Railroad. Special accommodations, special meals. You're going to be brought up here and then brought by limousine to the bottom of the hill to the right. And you'd walk up the hill. And one of the first things you would see was right here. 1922, King Tut's tomb was discovered, and they say it set off a gyptomania throughout the world. So I ask you, could Hearst resist the gyptomania? Of course not. He buys these 4 pieces between 1924 and 1930. They're between 32 and 3,600 years old. The oldest piece, the one on this side with the sun disk over her head, showed this was Sekhmet, the first one, the protector of the sun god Ra. That piece is nearing 3,600 years old. For a little perspective, that would be literally in the time of Moses. You can give you a sense. Now Hearst starts this at 56 and he leaves here at 84 years old in 1947. So you see the limestone facing, the finished look on the main part of the house. That's what he's going for. If you look over my head into the south wing, it has a different look because Hearst never got done. And we have to leave it as it was when William Randolph Hearst left here in 1947. So as you walk through and you say it doesn't look finished, it's not. He told his son Bill Jr. he's only halfway done. But we have to keep it as it was, the buildings. We take care of the art just like any museum. Now I know you all came to see Mr. Hearst's little 2-story bungalow. You ready to go up to the main terrace? Yeah. All right, come on, let's take a peek. So what do you think of Mr. Hearst's little 2-story bungalow?
Small.
Now it might remind you of a cathedral because this is a Mediterranean village. You've got the Roman ruins on the outskirts of town. The 3 guest cottages make up the village. And then you need a cathedral. This is kind of the cathedral herself in Rwanda, Spain. And it's not a church, it's his house. 68,500 completed square feet in Casa Grande, the big house. Now what's intriguing to me if you were here in 1924 and you went to a luxury hotel, are you going to get a private bathroom associated with your bedroom? No, you are not. So here in this house, you have 38 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms. Julie Morgan and William Randolph Hearst are on the cutting edge of knowing that we want to have bathrooms with our guest bedrooms. That's because Julie Morgan was known as the architect who listened to what people wanted. So the little two-story bungalow, that's the original plan. 5 entertainment rooms, which we'll see. Library and 8 rooms, but Hearst can't help himself. He goes to 4 floors. Just like you saw outside, he has to put antiquities in the house. That's a 16th century modified convent gate from Spain as the front door. Either side, you see the 15th century Spanish wild men. It's their job to keep the evil spirits out of the house. Straight away above the door, you see the Duke of Burgundy. He's French. Above the Duke, the oldest of the items on the front of the house, that's a 13th century Spanish Madonna and Child. Again, for perspective, 200 years before Columbus set sail for the Americas, that's in a church in Spain. Now it's on the front of Mr. Hearst's house. Now, as you look at this, we've got some Bay Area people here. Do you know who rebuilt the Fairmont Hotel after the San Francisco earthquake? You do.
Oh, Julie Morgan.
Julia Morgan, yes, thank you.
I knew that.
It was 7 feet off its foundations, burned so bad most architects didn't want to do it. She had it up in operation 1 year to the day of the San Francisco earthquake, and people gained respect for what she does here. She convinces Hearst to use concrete reinforced with steel because we have earthquakes here. So there's an earthquake here, 2003, 6.5 on the Richter scale. Epicenter not more than 5 miles from here. Now, I had a man who was on the engineering team that did the inspection in 2003, and he confirmed with me they determined her 1920 design exceeded 2003 California earthquake codes. There was no structural damage here on the top of the hill from what Julie Morgan did. Now, I want you to move forward just for a second. I'm going to have you look to your left. Over the Santa Lucia Mountains, kind of looks like an alligator's back, 37 miles from here, at the Monterey County line, is Mount Junipero Serra. In 1940, that is Mr. Hearst's north property boundary. They would have 250,000 acres, about 400 square miles. Now, as you go north, 1942, they sold about 150,000 acres to the U.S. government. It's now the home of Camp Roberts and Fort Hunter Liggett. Those are still military operations, and we heard some of the planes flying a little earlier. But that gives you an idea of what Hearst has to deal with. Now, back then, we go through the front door. We don't today because Hearst bought actually a 1st to 4th century Roman mosaic. And some folks have never seen a merman before. If you've not seen a merman, take a picture of the mosaic on the floor. And we don't get to walk on it. We're going to go on the side door. Now, your first responsibility here as a Hearst guest is cocktail hour. Y'all up for cocktail hour? Sure. All right, come on in. We're going in.